Alright, we're back on gaming, and I'm not in the mood to do this, and you know what people going to say? He's never in the mood to do this. And you got to think about it. If you think about it, for all the years that I've done these videos, think about it, alright? Prepping for these videos, reading the information before turning on the camera, and seeing this bullshit, by the time I turn on the camera, yeah, I'm pissed off. Why? Because we see the same thing over and over and over. It's the same thing. It's a revolving door. Nobody learns. There's no true progression. There's not. And I swear I'm not going to spend too much time on this SJW bullshit. I'm not, because we got some games and things to talk about, okay? But I've said this time and time again. I've shown you examples of this. Have we not talked about how you should never, and I mean ever, use tragedies to strengthen your own platform? It takes a real piece of shit, and I've said that before, have I not? It takes a real piece of shit to use someone's death to strengthen a platform, to slander Gamergate. We see this time and time again, alright, with pundits and everything. When something happens, see, this is why we need stricter gun rules and things of that nature. And what do we say to them? Stop using people's deaths to push your platform so that you can get on camera, you know what I mean, get your little 15 minutes of fame. Get the fuck out of here with that. So if it's not okay for them, it's not okay for you. There are no exceptions. That's simple. And the fact is, this person likes to go on and talk about their moral high horse and get in the politics game. And here's the thing. They follow, Randy Harper. Yeah. The same person who said, oh, we're going to make a block bot to stop harassment. Yet Randy Harper has an extensive history of harassing people. But nobody wants to talk about that shit, right? Nobody. The fact is, we have a lot of people who like to run their fucking mouth week after week after week. And all you do is push negativity. What the fuck have you done positive? What have you done? What have you done to help the community? That's what I want to know. Because all you do is get on Twitter and talk your shit. That's what you do. When you could be doing something better than that. You could be doing something constructive. But you don't. And this is the part where you're going to have people make fucking excuses or the fallback plan when something like this happens. When I show people and they say, I was only trolling. I don't give a fuck if you're trolling. I don't care. The fact is, everybody wants to be treated like an adult, but you don't want to fucking act like one. That's what it comes down to. I don't want to fucking hear it. The fact is, for these people to be so smart, so witty, and they want to act like they're so much better than you, and then they go and do this shit to show that they're no different than those they judge. I don't want to hear it. But of course, saying that, these people gonna get mad. I don't give a fuck if people get mad. Y'all know that by now. It's ridiculous. I told you, I'm not going to spend too much time on this shit. I'm really not. I do want to move on to games, but still, SJW, right? Because Brianna Wu, remember not too long ago we talked about Brianna Wu, and Brianna Wu came out and said that she was a really good Dead or Alive player. Really good, right? Because that's what we keep hearing. She's a really good Dead or Alive player, even though she had a big problem with Chun-Li in Street Fighter V, but she loves Dead or Alive. And that she's a great player. And what did I say? Well, if she's such a great player, let her try to test her mettle. That's what needs to happen. Because you know how this fighting game community is. If someone says that they're good or they're great, then guess what? Time for a challenge. It's time to test it because it's competitive. And it's not, oh, I'm going to challenge you. Oh, I'm going to feel harassed if you challenge me. No, it's called fun. That's what the games are, right? Okay, then. So then tell me this, Brianna Wu. Since you said that you were a Dead or Alive player, you're so good, why is it that people actually dug into your I should say, they checked your deposit, I should say, and they found out that you actually haven't played online. You've only played local matches with your man. How good of a player really are you if you're only playing against your significant other or whoever, I don't know their status of their relationship, okay? And the computer. If that's all you're playing against, how good really are you to get online and say, I'm good, I'm great? Huh? I'm just wondering this out, right? But that's not all. Then, gamers, once again, whoever did this, like I said, they checked your deposit again because when you opened your mouth about Street Fighter and said you were so good about Street Fighter and you were so concerned about Chun-Li, then people looked at your profile for Street Fighter as well. Maybe the questions I'm asking are just a little too hard here. Maybe I'm just not cutting Brianna Wu some slack. Maybe I could play devil's advocate and say, you know what, just because she doesn't have enough trophies doesn't mean that she can't play these games. Maybe she plays locally with a lot of people. Maybe she's been playing over the years and just doesn't play online. I could say that, okay? I could. But let's be honest here. When you get on the internet and you say you're good, then people are going to check you. It's that simple. They're going to check you. They're going to challenge you. That's Internet 101 when it comes to these games. You know that. There's no escaping that. So DOA players, now you have your proof. Street Fighter players, now you have your proof. It's up to you what you do with it. I don't know if you want to throw some challenges or not, but as you can see, that's what it is. Those are the facts. Okay? Now, like I said, I don't know who checked the deposit on that, but it was just brought to my doorstep. That's it. And I'm going to speak on it if it brings to my doorstep. That's simple. All right? Now I'm going to move on. I want to talk about Street Fighter since we're already on the topic. Street Fighter V adds Vega, but he looks and plays differently. Now, I've seen a lot of backlash over this when it comes to Vega. All right? Because a lot of people are saying, doesn't look like Vega. He's not the pretty boy that he used to be. What's going on here? Well, I can tell you what's going on. The character designs look horrible. And they looked horrible since Street Fighter 4. We've seen this. Franken jaws. We've got these swollen, bloated feet that, seriously, the size 16 feet. It makes no sense. None of it. And you know what? They got away a little bit with it if you looked at Shoto's and Third Strike. A little bit, all right? But in these games since Street Fighter 4, the character designs have been awful when it comes to that. The eyes bulging out and things of that nature. Look, we understand it's over the top and it's cartoony, all right? But it's hard to watch. It really is at times. And it's just like, damn, they just look so bad when it comes to, a character design, aspect. And, a lot of people, even when Vega was revealed, people are still mad over Ken. They're still mad over Ken. They're saying they couldn't even fix Ken. He looks horrible, and I'll put it like this. They even tried to do some damage control on Twitter. That's right. This is what they tried to say about Ken when the reveal for Ken happened. Okay, so as you can see, they're trying to say that Ken's look has changed over the years. Let's look at all the different pictures they show of Ken. Did you really just try to pull that bullshit? Super Street Fighter 2, you understand that's just a palette swap, right? You do. If you go back from Street Fighter 2 to Championship Edition, to Turbo Edition, to all the different editions, alright? Because they had so many of them. And then you go to Super Street Fighter 2, it's the same Ken. So don't give me this bullshit where he's changed. Street Fighter Alpha, of course, Alpha. It's supposed to be the beginning. All they did was slender Ken down a little bit for him to be younger and he had a longer ponytail. That's nothing. It's the same Ken when it comes to character design. Alright? He's not as bulky, I guess, if that's what you want to say. Because he's younger. But when it comes to animation design aspects, there's nothing different about Ken. Street Fighter 4, there was really nothing different about Ken's look other than, like I said, they changed everyone else's feet and damn jaws to make him look so damn big. Other than that, his hair, everything was still the same because it's the same Ken. Don't give me this bullshit that all of a sudden, since what we've seen with Street Fighter 5 coming out, that we should go back in the years and see the differences of Ken. Hell, even in EX, Ken looked the same. But no one wants to talk about that. See, this is what I mean. This is just damage control. It's always damage control. If people are falling for this, alright, then it goes to show you what type of gamers you have on your hands. You and I both know. When it came down to Ken being shown, nothing different. Street Fighter 5, as I said, radical design change. Really wasn't that much of a design change, really. They just put his damn hair up and gave him a different outfit. And as they said, classic costumes will be on the way. So I don't understand why people are still mad at Ken, at this whole Ken thing. We've covered this already before, but I'm still mad at this Ken thing, but I guess it just reignited because of what we've seen with Vega, which I don't know who the hell that is. That doesn't look like Vega to me, but it is what it is. I don't know why they have to keep making people so damn big, so damn square jaw. Everyone looks the same. Everyone. Other than, like I said, your classic, designs. I understand classic. I'll put it this. When I say classic, I do mean Street Fighter 2. Okay? Vega has always been that tall, thin type person, and of course, his face was always supposed to be very thin, very slim. The guy that doesn't look like Vega. It doesn't. Just saying, it doesn't. Now, if people want to disagree, that's fine too. If you like Street Fighter 4, that's fine too. Or Street Fighter 5, the way it looks, that's fine too. I'm not here to debate that. I'm not here to bag on that. I'm talking about character design and over the years of what they've done. And if people are going to bring, like I said, if people are going to bring this to my table or to my doorstep, I'm going to address it. That's all it is. So don't get mad at me, because to be quite honest, I don't give a damn. I really don't. But if we're going to talk facts, let's talk facts. Okay? We can do that. That's not a problem. Now I want to move on. I want to talk about Killer Instinct, Season 3. Killer Instinct fans, don't feel disrespected when I say this. Do people still play Killer Instinct? Do they still? Because Season 1 and Season 2, it was like, alright, now you got Season 3, and then you bring in, was it Rash? I believe it's Rash, yeah, Rash from Battletoads. You bring in Rash from Battletoads as if it's going to make a difference. Now, last time when we were at the tournaments over at MomoCon in May, nobody was playing Killer Instinct. Nobody. Maybe 6 people, maybe? If that? I don't know. Everyone was on Mortal Kombat or Marvel or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, Killer Instinct was just, it was there, but it wasn't there, if you get what I'm saying. It was just, it was damn near non-existent. And it's kind of sad because everyone says, including myself, when you watch Killer Instinct, it doesn't remind you of the original Killer Instinct. That's what made Killer Instinct great. It reminds you, actually, of just any other just regular fighting game these days. It's kind of sad because Killer Instinct, that's what brought it to the table. It really did. But if you're interested in Killer Instinct Season 3 coming, you're hyped about it, by all means, go ahead, more power to you. I don't see the fascination with Killer Instinct. You know what I mean? This new version of it. I just don't. That's just me. Anyways, let me move on. I want to talk about Super Smash Brothers real quick. You Smash fans, you're getting a patch. Oh, patch has probably already been added. Was it new stages, tournaments, and YouTube uploads? So that's for Smash. Okay. Also, I need to talk about this really quick. A horrible thing happened at a tournament not too long ago in locals. You guys really reached out to me on this one, and apparently this is legit. This is no BS because people are confirming this. Okay, a guy had to have his left eye removed because the guy who beat him. That's right, the guy who beat him. The guy won. And he was still salty after he won, so he went upside his head with a joystick. That's right, with a fight pad. Here's what was said on the person's Facebook. Like I said, this is so far legit for what we're seeing. And I will put it like this, because this is what really bothers me about that entire thing. Not just the action that happened, because as far as I'm concerned, the person who did that, they should be banned for life. And as far as I'm concerned, because I believe, look, if someone's going to really pop off like you won, though, what's the point? What's the point of doing that? I don't understand that. What's the point of doing that if you won? You know what I mean? People lose, they get salty. But to win and be salty, get banned. Get banned. And people are already saying that this person should press charges, you know, for hospital bills and things of that nature. Person should be banned for life as far as I'm concerned when you do something like that. It is a video game. Do you understand that? People don't understand. It's a video game. It's ridiculous. It just absolutely is. And I put it like this. Even though everything that is being said, you know, on this Facebook, I have to question, because this person, look, I'll put it like this. You're getting your left eye removed. Let me tell you something, Zatoichi, all right? You should not even be thinking about tournaments in the future. You shouldn't be. That should be the last thing from your mind. I understand this person's trying to reach out and say, if people want to train me and things of that nature, I get it. But you're about to have your eye removed. Your eye. There are bigger factors, it takes bigger precedent to deal with the everyday lifestyle of not having one eye, okay, than it does playing a video game. I'm just saying, priorities. I'm not bagging on the guy, but seriously, that is something you need to take care of first. You need to find your way, because it's going to be a hell of a process before you even think about playing video games. So, please, just take care of yourself, all right, and get yourself together before deciding you're going to sit down and get all tournament level. That shouldn't even be the first thing you shouldn't even be thinking about that right now. You really shouldn't. I'm just saying, from a priority perspective, just saying, okay? Now, I want to move on. I want to talk about priorities, because we've seen this for a previous week or so. Mighty Number 9, that's right, has been delayed. That's right, till 2016. And at first, fans were like, oh, it's just a rumor. And fanboys out in full force. You know what I mean? They were so mad. You can't, get on Key, Inafune for this. And I'm thinking to myself, why not? And then Inafune came out himself and said, I want to say this to the fans because I feel responsible for this. So, goes to show you, since he's the lead, this is on him. There's no excuses now. There isn't. And then we found out about Red Ash, and here's the thing about Red Ash. We covered, not too long ago, was it? We did Shaq Fu, did we not? And I showed you the differences in the Kickstarter. How they were all of a sudden, it was at its final hours, and then hundreds of thousands of dollars were being thrown at Shaq Fu from people we didn't know. The fix was in, was it not? Same thing with Red Ash, all right? It was doing bad, and then a company stepped in and threw a ton of money at it. which shows you they have resources. But here's the thing. Gamers smartened up and didn't give any money, and Red Ash failed. That's right. Failed. So Red Ash, not happening. So far, for what we've seen, not happening. That's right. However, like I said, I want to move on. I want to talk about more Capcom-related issues, because it still ties in with Inafune. And I'm kind of upset with Capcom right now, because for those who don't know, fans are fixing Resident Evil 4 HD Remake. Okay? Now, while fans, that's right, modders are fixing it because of all the problems. I'll put the link in the info bar, and they actually have screenshots, side-by-side comparisons of what Capcom did as opposed to what modders are doing. That's right, so you can see there's a huge difference, all right? Now, while that's being fixed by fans, okay, Capcom is discussing a Resident Evil 2 remake. You couldn't fix Resident Evil 4 when it came to that, but you want to do Resident Evil 2. So leave the fans to do your dirty work, and now you want to say, hey, we're going to do Resident Evil 2. Now, I know everyone's a fan of Resident Evil 2. Yours truly as well, okay? I am. But Capcom, if you're going to do something like this, you have to fix the damn games first before you decide to move on to the next. That is absolutely ridiculous. It is. Once again, Capcom, they just don't know when this... I'm just going to move on. I'm going to move on. More ridiculous... I should say ridiculous. What do they say now these days? Ridiculousness? Yeah. Alright, I'm going to move on. Alright? Sony. That's right. Sony has a surprise gift for long PS Plus fans. That's right. If you've been there from the beginning, from the long haul, it's been 5 years since PS Plus, they're going to give you a special gift. And the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that was, so Sony, what about the special gift for those who were with PSN before you decided to create PS Plus? Where's their gift? For riding with you from the beginning. You know, when the PS3 wasn't doing so well, where are they at? Where's their gift for them? You're not giving them one though, huh? Okay, that's what I thought. Also, for those who don't know, PS Now launches on PS Vita and is riddled with bugs and problems, which is, kind of figured that was going to happen due to the fact that it just launched, and you should know anything that launches usually has a number of problems before it gets ironed out. So, for PS Vita owners, I would just say hold on. Hold on till it gets ironed out. That's all you can really do. I wouldn't jump at it right away. As you know, you should never jump at something right away. I understand the hype level and people get all excited and they just have to have it now. Show some restraint. Show some patience. That's all you got to do. Okay? And I say that for just about everything when it comes to consoles, when it comes to games, because let's be honest here. You get there, day one patch, things still aren't working. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. I do want to talk about Xbox real quick though. Xbox One is getting free DVR TV functionality in 2016. Seems Microsoft is really trying to put their foot into it, their best foot forward. Also, Xbox One backwards compatibility will be coming in November for Xbox One fans. However, I have to say this. The full list so far of the compatible games for the Xbox One, it's like 20 games. It's like 20 games. And they've announced other games, but they're not official yet. They're just saying. They've just announced it. It's not here yet. So, and most of them are like Gears. So it's like, what are you going to really do? Now, here's the thing. They're saying that you can do free backwards compatibility when it comes to the Xbox One. Okay. But then, PlayStation, when they have their backwards compatibility, you have to pay for a subscription price because, for those who don't know, you'll have to get it from off of their cloud. Alright? And for those who feel as though, and this is what really bothers me about the PS4, alright? I understand that you don't want to focus on backwards compatibility, Sony, but the least you can do when it comes to a network is that when people decide to jump from PS3 to PS4, their digital downloads that they bought, they should be able to transfer over to that. And here's the thing, with no problems. But Sony, what did they do? They said, no. If you have proof of purchase that you have bought these games, alright, we'll just give you a discount so that you can buy it again. How many times are you going to keep making people buy the same damn game for a newer system? That's bullshit. Let them transfer that over. Seriously, like I said, I understand if you don't want backwards compatibility. I get it. Okay? Fine. That you're not going to win that fight, unless fans really make an uprise about it, all right? But when it comes to at least the digital downloads, you can transfer those over. That needs to become a standard. And that's not just for Sony, all right? That's for all console makers at this point. PC gamers really don't have that much to worry about when it comes to that. But speaking of that, PC and things of that nature, we'll talk about that in a minute. Batman, Arkham Knight, gotta talk about this, all right? And this is for all people. There's been a huge patch released. That's right. It adds photo mode and more. So, once again, WB's doing, what do we see? I shouldn't say just WB, because we've seen other companies do it. Ship it, patch it, fix it. That's all it is, every time. This is why I say, sit back and wait. Because you know these things happen. Still waiting for Origins to be fixed, though. Still waiting. Yeah, I'll be a skeleton by the time it's finished. Just saying. Anyways, like I said, I want to talk about PC for a minute. Batman Arkham Knight PC mod lets players play as Alfred. That's right, and he's pretty much as Alfred skin over Batman, but it's great to see. For those who have not seen the video, it's such a long video, so what I'll do is I'll put the link in the info bar, and you can watch the video there. It's like 7-8 minutes long or something like that. It's really fun to watch, to see Alfred go to work on criminals in Gotham City. It's pretty cool. Also, in more news, Kevin Conroy, the voice actor for Batman, says he would love to do a Justice League game. That's right, he'd love to do a Justice League game. Now here's the thing, for those who don't know, alright? As you know, Batman Arkham Knight is the end, or so that's what we hear. It is the end of the Arkham series. It's a trilogy. It's done. Okay? Now, with that being said, there's talks about Rocksteady moving onto a Justice League game. If you're going to do something like this, and Conroy, he's ready for it, but if you're going to do something like this has to be a multiplayer game. You cannot, and I don't want to say, and when I say multiplayer, when you're using the Justice League, you're going to have a lot of co-op to this. And you just hope that it doesn't go to the route of DC Universe. You hope it doesn't. But if you're going to do this, it's got to be done the right way. Because let's be honest here, you can't make every city dark. You can't make every hero dark. And that's the thing that we're seeing these days. Every superhero has to be fucking dark and gritty. It doesn't have to be. Seriously, if I picked up this Justice League game, the first person I'm playing as, if it's not Superman, it's the Flash. And if the Flash is not, bright and laughable and can, be a smartass at the time while, fighting, there's no point. I do not need to see a dark and gritty Flash. I don't. We got Batman for that. Not everything has to be dark and gritty. I'm just saying, it doesn't. Also, in more news, I just want to let you know, Odallus, for those who don't know, the Dark Calls NES-Hard Dark Fantasy is now on stream. And for those who have not seen this, and it looks so good, so much Castlevania involved, if you haven't seen it, let's take a look at it real quick. Great game, real throwback. I would love to get my hands on this one, just saying. However, we do need to talk about more business, and I know it's been a while since I've said this, but we need to talk about EA and their bullshit. That's right, for those who don't know, alright, new Battlefield has been confirmed for 2016, and EA reaffirms that the company's yearly shooter strategy, which means you're going to get another one in 2017, in 2018, 2019, and on. As long as people keep buying this damn game, you know what's going to happen? They're going to keep making it. And speaking of annual games, let's talk about this right now. Madden NFL 16 is getting a 10-hour EA Access trial this month. What's the point? It's Madden. You know how this is going to go, but you know Mad Knights are going to go run to it anyway. And then in 2017, they're going to go out and do it again. We have said this time and time again. It has also been noted on Operation Sports, I believe, that people are getting tired of annual games when it comes to especially sports games, and that you don't need to keep buying, the game every year. If anything, and I've said this in a video, I believe I did in 2010, was it 2010, 2011? You need to make a patch, all right, to fix certain things or add certain, features when it comes to that year, and then you take the next year. So every 2 years, you get the hard copy. But you don't want to do that, do you, AA? Because that will be messing up your money. That wasn't it. Yeah, because too many people keep buying into this garbage. Speaking of garbage, all right, let's talk about this right now. FIFA 16 versus PS 16. Huge blow to EA as top teams depart FIFA in favor of Konami. You want to know why? I'm just about this. Do you want to know why, EA? Because you're not doing your damn job, especially when it comes to football overseas, when we're seeing things like this. My God, you got them flopping in the video game. Are you serious? Look, it's bad enough that NBA 2K put flopping in their basketball. Now you're putting flopping. I guess Madden's going to have flopping too soon. No. I know what you're going to put in Madden. As soon as a receiver gets bumped and he doesn't get the pass, he's going to throw his hands up like this, right, on the pass interference flag. Is that what you're going to do for Madden next? Get the fuck out of here, man. Anyways, since we were talking about Konami just a minute ago, I guess we should talk about Konami. Because they've been really fucking up as of late, have they not? So, first off, Metal Gear 5 system requirements have been revealed. That's not the big thing we need to talk about, okay? But this is what we need to talk about. Konami has vicious, destructive company culture, according to the Nikkei, I believe. So, let's talk about this real quick. We all know that companies have their standards, rules, and regulations when it comes to being employed by them. We know this. And as we know, even over in Japan, they have a little bit more stricter, policies. However, these things that Konami are doing, I do not blame Kojima for leaving. I don't. You've got to be... Look, let's talk about this list real quick, all right? This is the list. Any emails, aside from the sales department, with anyone outside of the company is done with a randomized email address that is changed regularly. Okay? Mind you, we're talking making video games here. Okay? Leaving on lunch breaks is regulated using time cards. Employees, which... Time cards, we have this here too. If you go on lunch, you punch in and punch out, it happens, okay? Not a big deal, okay? But it says, employees who exceed their lunchtime are outed within the company, which means you're fired. So if you're taking, a little bit more time, you're fired. You're outed. You're done. Okay? Zero tolerance, I guess. However, here we go. Konami employees who are considered useless, that's in quotes, okay? It says, are assigned to do assembly line work, security guard detail, and cleanup at Konami's fitness clubs. Even game producers and creators have had this happen to them. How do you sit here and call... You gotta be kidding me. Useless? You just come straight out and call them useless, huh? That is disrespectful as shit. I don't know why anybody would want to work Konami when this is going on. And like I said, this is from what we've seen so far, okay? Also, let's keep going, okay? One incident involved a Konami employee who posted a Facebook status saying he was leaving to another company. Anyone who liked the status had their position at Konami shifted, and that included even members of upper management with loyal followings. Because they don't want to look bad. That's why. So if I say, hey, look, I'm leaving Konami for another company, and you say, hey, good for you, that's good for you, you're finding something possibly that you're more passionate about, or, hey, maybe this is going to be a great endeavor for you, I'm going to like this because I like you as a person. And you will tell me the company's going to come around and be like, oh, no, we can't have that. We're going to change that. Just because you like that Facebook post, which shows just how many eyes they have on their employees. Just to show you, okay? And I keep telling people here, when you troll and you do stuff like this on Facebook, if you have a job, companies are watching. Konami is, even though it's in Japan, Konami is showing you that this is a good example of it. A good example. Okay? Have eyes everywhere, man. It's crazy. It's just disgusting they would do this. However, the Konami founder and current chairman, Kazuki, is known to be reclusive nowadays. Years ago, Kazuki used to help out other game companies, including Nintendo and Sega, in their times of trouble, in their times of need. Okay? It says, but now he's very, very distant from them, which, if you ask me, is a horrible thing. Also, Nikkei article also mentions any development on Tokimeki Memorial and Suikoden projects have been ceased Do you not understand, Konami, that suicoding is still big? Do you not understand that? Seriously, anyone who's plays, you know what? I don't think I need to talk. I don't need to talk about this. I don't need to. I'm done with Konami as far as I'm concerned when it comes to that. The company is just going into the shitter. It is. Let's be honest here. And not too long ago, we saw that they got rid of Silent Hill. We know that, all right? And then, not too long ago, they released a trailer for Silent Hill, but then you found out it was a damn slot machine. And fans were pissed. They were so mad. Well, I understand that fans are mad because they saw that trailer. Maybe I can help you on this, fans. Maybe I can somewhat make you happy today. How about that, when it comes to Silent Hill? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, what would you say if there was a game with Silent Hill in it that you can actually fight the monsters? How about that? In the streets of Silent Hill, fighting monsters. Beat them up. What if I told you it was that? Would you be interested? Because as far as I'm concerned, the things that I've seen, it looks so great. And all in 16-bit glory. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, and I know this is going to be a good one, Silent Hill Streets of Rage. You're going to get for Silent Hill for a while, take it. Just take it and run. I'll put the link in the info bar where you can check out how it's going on and where you can actually play this, because I believe there's already playthroughs of this game, just to let you know. Now let's move on. Activision. Oh, God, this is horrible. Activision CEO, Bobby Kotick, that's right, donates $50,000 to Chris Christie's presidential campaign. I guess it's true. Assholes stick with assholes. What can you do? I'm surprised Bobby Kotick would even do something like that. You could have took that $50,000 and did something really good with it, like to a charity. That's what I'm talking about. But of course, this is Bobby Kotick, the man who has told you gamers that you aren't worth shit already, but you keep buying his games, like Call of Duty, right? Yeah, you aren't worth shit. Keep buying this game because you're fucking stupid. He's come out and said these things, and you still support it. Okay, all right. Activision, no. It's fun. But, speaking of charity, I want to say this right now. This is the last bit of news. Games Done Quick. I want to talk about this. Games Done Quick ended their charity with over $1 million. I believe they made $1.2 million on their charity with speedrunning in video games. I want to say congratulations. Games Done Quick is always great to watch. It's always entertaining to see what they're going to do next. And, once again, mass media not giving it the credit it deserves. Because, as you've all said, it messes up their narrative, that video games are bad, and that gamers are bad, and that we're all ruthless killers and misogynist, sexist shitlords, and yeah, we know how that goes. It's just sad to see that, like I said, people will always, like I said, when you see people, and they always bag on something, mostly outsiders, when they bag on it, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like I said, people spend more of their time focusing on negative and throwing slander, as opposed to showing you the positive stuff. Always positive stuff. Yes, there's things that need to be talked about negatively because we have to find a way to cut that down as much as possible, work around it, and make it stronger. It's just like when you feel you're strong and you have a weakness, you look at that weakness to make it even stronger so that you can be more stable. That's how it works in anything, not just our community. But it seems like every time you address a weakness, you have a bunch of blithering fucking fanboys that come out and say, don't you talk about this? Don't you talk about this company? Don't you talk about this game? That doesn't help the situation any. that doesn't approach it and say, hey, look, all right, this is a problem, let's fix it. Instead, you just want to sling mud left and right. That doesn't help any. It's okay if you still want to be a smartass about things, as long as you have a balance and say, hey, look, this is a problem, this is the way we can go about it. What does everybody think about it? But they don't do that. They stay in one mode and they just run with it. And nah. It's disgusting. About as disgusting as using tragedies, to slander other people. It's just, seriously. This reminds me of blah, 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 because of this shooting. I'm still trying to figure out, I'm still trying to wonder, has anyone in Gamergate harmed anybody? Like, when I'm physically, has anyone been killed? Has anyone been assaulted? No. I don't want to hear it anymore, man. Seriously. Like I said, it's dramatic as fuck for no fucking reason. It just is. There are so many things that we can clean up in our community. Clean up in the industry. In the media. But for some reason, people don't want to see that. They want to keep this going because some of them, their entire career is based off of this shit. People getting paid. You got lemmings following them for no fucking reason. Oh, you must be right. Shit is stupid. It's stupid. Use your brain. Understand that there's always going to be two sides to a story. And also understand that even though one side is, people are for one side, and you've seen it in my videos, I've called Gamergate out on a number of things and say, hey, look, this is wrong. This needs to stop. Things happen on both sides that are wrong. I don't think anybody can sit here and disagree with that. But if things are going to get better, and we said this time and time again, this shit could have been solved a week after it happened. But instead, people want to act like idiots. And that's what brought on the storm. And you're talking to a person who's been talking about corruption in game journalism for what? Years. For years, before this Gamergate shit happened. Unreal. I say, you sit back and you just watch this shit. It's like dominoes, just watching them fall. You see the same people make the same mistakes. But yet they supposedly, they're better than you. That's a bunch of bullshit. Like I say, if you want to sit here and say that you're better than someone, then prove it. Don't get on Twitter and run your mouth about it. Actually do something that is positive, that helps the community. And say, see, this is what you should do. Lead by example. Many of us do that. It's just a shame that you don't.